Hey everybody, my name is Matt Estrad and this is episode 7 of Caregiver Coffee, brought to you by COAST, or the Council on Aging in St. Tammany. I am a gerontologist in the greater New Orleans area, and I'm also a caregiver support group facilitator and have been partnering with COAST in this for the last 5 years. I will talk a little bit more about the group as we go along. I appreciate you being here, either live or watching this after it's recorded. Please make sure that you like it and share it with others. So today we're going to talk about utilizing individualized music for loved ones who are experiencing dementia, but also all this applies to caregivers or care partners, and certainly applies to anybody with a chronic condition. So what's going to make this process that I talk about different is that it's based on almost 30 years of research out of Stanford University by Professor Linda Gerdner, who is retired now but still continues to be active in this even after, like I said, those 30 years. And she has a process that I'm going to walk you through. And what's interesting is that this is a music intervention, but it's not considered music therapy. Because music therapy must be delivered by someone who is certified in music therapy and are actual music therapist. This is based on a scientific. This is what I'm going to talk about today. This process is based on a scientific protocol and research, but anybody can do it. So, and I'm going to tell you about a resource that you can find all this information. It's going to be peacewithdementia.com/music. So if you go to that website, and I'll even show you a preview of that website so you can you'll see what's on there. But I've got videos, I've got quick tips, I got forms, all that kind of stuff free for you if you want to check it out. And I'll also put this in the description of this live video. So if you're with us live, you can certainly ask us questions, and I'll do my best to answer those live. But if not, I'll also try, if this is a recording for you, if you want to offer that, if you want to send questions later, I'll do my best. But the best way, especially after a video, is to email me at matt@carepartnermentoring.com. All right, just want to make sure that I'm able to see comments if there are any that are made, and certainly if you like it, I will see that. So give me a thumbs up. That's always cool to see as you're talking. So let's talk about this process. And let me go ahead and share my website. Actually, let's do this. All right, so you should still see me. So this is peacewithdementia.com. This is one of my websites, and this is one that focuses. This is a page off of that focuses on music. This is a picture right here in this little video box right here. It's a playlist of different videos. This is a 28-minute video right here if you want to see a lot about the science that she has uncovered about music. It's very interesting, lots of great examples, so I encourage you to check that out. Also got some other videos in that playlist after that one plays. This is a video. This right here is a thumbnail of a poster that I had at a conference that is based on Dr. Gerdner's work, and I'm really going to use this right here as a basis of what we're talking about right here. This is I break down the process of using individualized music into this little thing right here, this little infographic. So the first thing, actually what I want to say before I get started into the process is that you can always play music for someone who's living with dementia and they might enjoy it, but what we're showing you is an actual process that you can follow, and it's very easy to do so, that shows us how to specifically soothe agitation if it's started already, or to prevent it altogether. So the first question right here is, who is the candidate? So we're looking at our loved one who has dementia, and a good candidate is someone who has enjoyed music throughout their whole life. And as a musician myself and someone who really enjoys music, I've always assumed that everybody likes music, but not everybody does. And so for this to work, they would have already had to have liked music, listening to music in the car, listening to it at home, going to dances, going to concerts, so whatever it may be. But I know some people just don't want to be bothered with music, so that person would probably not be a candidate. But you know what? You can try it. You can try it anyway. So in this, and who's the candidate, you want to also find someone who's experiencing agitation. Now, this could be when they first wake up. This can be during mealtime. This can be during bathing time. This is someone who might be experiencing sundowning, where it's in the evening or in the late afternoon or evening hours, where they start to get more tired and frustrated, and their mood might become real negative. This is all about that person. So you want to learn more about the agitation. So when is it? And I just named some times when it may happen, or some activities where it might be happening: the bathing, eating, etc. And then try to figure out a pattern of a particular time when it's happening. And what you want to do is, before I get to that, first we do that investigating. We figure out what the best time is to introduce that, and then we get to their musical preference. And this is where a survey that Dr. Gardner created comes in handy. And again, this is evidence-based. She's done lots of research on this, and it's been replicated. Right here on the screen, you see these two white blocks right here. These are two different types of assessments. There is one, but they all arrive at the same place. They're trying to ascertain what are the music preferences for that person who's living with dementia. The first one right here, which is the one that should be preferred, asks the person directly, like, what are your music preferences? What types of music do you like? Have you ever played an instrument before? What instrument is that? What are your favorite who are your favorite artists? What are your favorite songs, etc. So it's asking that person who's reading it. The other version, the family version, is if the person living with dementia is not able to answer those questions, to be able to read, to be able to write down the answers, or provide any kind of feedback, because that certainly can happen if someone's nonverbal or they're not able to read anymore. And this just simply asks the questions in a different way, where it says, regarding your loved one with dementia, what has been who are their favorite artists, etc. So same survey, asked in a different way. But if our loved one is able to answer the questions, we want to allow them the freedom and independence to do that. So I always like to start off with the first one and only use the second one, the family version, if that's needed. So with this survey, you're going to find out all sorts of neat stuff as far as what to play. These are songs, you want to try to get down to songs that are very important to them. Maybe it's songs when they that they listened to when someone was courting their spouse, or this is something they grew up listening to on the way to family vacations, or this was a wedding. This is a song that was played at their wedding. So all these things that are gonna, hopefully light a spark in that person. That's where we're trying to go. Now, if you're not able to answer those questions yourself, like you not only can the person not answer the questions on their own sheet, but they're not able to answer the questions. So some good sources of information might be their record collection, their tape collection, their 8-track collection, anything like that you want to think about as giving clues. Because remember, when we're caring for someone who's living with dementia, we become a detective to figure out why they're doing something, what's that need behind that. And this is very similar. We're trying to gather information of something that's going to be meaningful for them. All right, so let's say we're moving on to step 4. So we've identified the person. We know what's causing the agitation. At least we have a good idea what's causing the agitation. We know what their musical preferences are, and we go ahead and gather those CDs, those records, those tapes, etc. And there's never been a better time to be alive and use this type of intervention, because we have things like Apple Music, and we have Spotify, and we have even YouTube. So even for free, you can find almost every song that's been recorded if you just go to YouTube. And you can play them on phones. So in number 4, we have it. We're ready to play it. It's probably ideal that you play it on a speaker, because then you don't have to worry about having to put headphones or earbuds on somebody. You don't have that way. You don't have to worry about the volume, because we might put them in our ears if we're using headphones, or if we're in a facility or somewhere where a speaker is going to bother other people, then we might need to use headphones or earbuds. The challenge with that is you don't want it to be too loud and to further damage somebody's hearing. So they may need it turned up, but not at the rate that we think it needs to be. So I would use the speaker if possible, but if not, I guess we just have to use that and be as safe as we can. So you play the music, and as far as the intervention and what the science has told us is that you want to play it at least 30 minutes before you usually see the agitation. So let's say that it's usually 2 o'clock in the afternoon when a loved one starts to get frustrated and extra confused and ornery and just expressive in that way. So it being 2 o'clock where we see this onset, we want to really look at 1:30 or even before to start this personalized music to hopefully get them in a good disposition, a good mood, and to either soothe the agitation that we see around 2 o'clock or eliminate it altogether for as long as we can. It really just depends on your loved one if this is going to work and how long it's going to last. But I encourage you still to try this often. Even if it doesn't work the first couple of times, stick with it, and even if not, try it the next week. As much as you're comfortable or you think that they are comfortable. We don't want to make your loved one aggravated by continuing to play music. So we'll take their cues from them. And that's the last part of number 4, is kind of sitting back and observing and trying to get a sense of, is this working? And with that observation, I encourage you to take notes so that you know what songs work and what songs don't, because some are not going to work. Some songs you think that the person may love, it might bring back a sad memory where they miss somebody, or might be a negative experience. You just don't know until you try it. But you'll use common sense, I know, and act accordingly to your loved one's feedback, because we always look to them for feedback as far as how we're doing as care partners, as far as what they're feeling, how they're doing, etc. We have this open mind to them, and we're not just writing them off and saying, oh, they have dementia, they're not going to teach me anything, when these are our greatest teachers. So that's number 5. I've already talked about this a bit already from number 4, that we're going to evaluate and we're going to learn from this every time. Maybe you find that instead of starting at 1:30, maybe you need to start at 1 o'clock. Maybe that will help if starting at 1:30 did not help. So please send me any questions that you have. I would love for y'all to try this and shoot me an email and let me know if it went well. If it didn't, I'm happy to help sort of troubleshoot if it didn't go well. And certainly if it does go well, I'd love to share those stories anonymously on here as saying that that these videos are working and they're reaching people and they're helping out. So let me go over the just review. So here's an article that I wrote on the website. Here is a number of videos, including after this 28-minute one by Dr. Gardner. There are some examples, clips of people with dementia who are responding to music, and it's amazing. So make sure you check that. It's very encouraging, because that could be you and your loved one. So here, these are links, and I have permission from Dr. Gardner to share all of these. She's a great person, and just really loves this even in retirement, has made such a contribution to the field. So if y'all have any questions, please send them to me. If I can't answer it, I'll get them to her. Also, if you want to read further into this, here's a PDF of the guidelines. It's a lengthy document, but it shows you what it's based on. Also, her page at Stanford University, and I think that's about it. But there's a lot of things. This is peacewithdementia.com/music, or an alias for that website. You can see it right here. think you might be able to see it, but it is. You could also use carepartnermentoring.com/music. So I'm going to end the music information right there. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the caregiver support group that we have. So we've been meeting since April of 2015, so over 5 years, 4 times a month, usually mostly on a Tuesday, unless it fell on a holiday. That's over 250 sessions that Coast has sponsored me in being there, and it's just awesome to be a partner with the Council on Aging in St. Tammany. So we meet for an hour and a half. Pre-COVID, we would meet at the Activity Center at Slidell and at Covington. Now that we're still in the pandemic, we've been meeting on a video platform called Zoom. So some people use their computer and we can see them, they see me. Some people just call in at the same time, so whatever you're comfortable. Everything is completely confidential. We only send in sign-in sheets to the Council on Aging so they know who's receiving services, but outside of that, people don't talk about it, who's in the group and what they discussed. So I encourage you that if you are a caregiver, or even if you're a family member and you're not providing care and you just have questions and you have things you want to ask about dementia and other chronic conditions and aging, I encourage you to get that information, to call in, and you can find that by sending me an email. As I said before, with Matt@carepartnermentoring.com. You can shoot me a question or a request for the times and phone numbers right there. I'll get you on the email list, and you can, like I said, you can also contact Coast for that. So I'm going to put a bow on this right now. We'll wrap up this episode 7 talking about music. I appreciate you being here live. Appreciate you watching the archive and liking and sharing so others can benefit from this information and from the services of the Council on Aging in St. Tammany. Thanks a lot. God bless and have a great week. Bye.